Hello, Gemini, and thank you for joining me today. Welcome back. It's time for your May 2020 ASMR tarot reading, and some of you may very well have birthdays this month. If you're on the Taurus cusp, we're near it. So, for those of you who have May birthdays, happy birthday. I hope it's a good one. I hope you have fun things planned as much as you can. I have fluorite today, this beautiful fluorite wand. Love all of the colors inside of it. I have this smoky quartz, and I really love the energy of this smoky quartz in particular. I picked it out just for myself by hand at a store. Didn't order it online, which is fine. It's fine to order crystals online, but it's also nice to hold them in your hand in a store and pick which one. Do I want this one? Do I want this one? And hold your hand over it. Think about it. I do also have, in case we need to clarify anything, I have my tourmalated quartz pendulum. I will be using Pixie's Astounding Lenormand. It's this really cute Lenormand deck, very small, very petite, which is good for my tiny little baby hands. And it's basically collaged together from the artwork in the Rider-Waite deck, which was illustrated by Pamela Coleman Smith, and from another work that she illustrated called The Golden Vanity. So you get to see lots of beautiful artwork by the very talented Pamela Coleman Smith, whose nickname was Pixie, in this adorable tiny deck in a tin. And then we also have the Hangle Tarot, which I purchased when I was in New Orleans on my way out to the West Coast. I haven't used it very much, but I do like all of the correspondences in this deck. It's got correspondences for path working, which you know how I feel about that by now. And then it also has I Ching, it's got runes, it's got the 4 cardinal directions correspond to the 4 suits, and they've used different regions for the court cards, which is kind of cool. North, south, east, and west correspondences. I'm going to be doing a 12 houses spread today. Houses spread. I think that will more accurately reflect everyone's current state than if I try to do a Celtic cross. And I do occasionally do other spreads, but especially for times when you're doing a general reading, and you want to kind of leave it open to the energies that a lot of different people might be experiencing. It's better to do something that involves more cards, has different correspondences. So I really like the 12 houses spread for that, without it being so concretely set as to past, present, and future. 12 houses spread is more about what is going on in all the different sectors of your life. So things haven't just completely stopped just because of what's going on right now. And everybody's in a different situation. That's always the case. All right. Yeah. And I have to make sure I remember to hold the cards up for you to see, because I don't have very much table visible in frame today. I like to mix it up a little bit. And I do have some water, clean water, to purify the space. It's one of the most precious resources that we have. Not everybody has access to it. Makes it kind of exclusive, actually. It shouldn't be that way, by the way. But in favor of using something fancier, I thought it would be nice to use some water to purify. Don't forget to hydrate. It's getting hot outside. I live here in Los Angeles, and it's getting up into the 90s now. That's fine, it's springtime. I like the heat. The first house, House of Beginnings, and the house governed by Aries. And we have the Queen of Wands here. And so this could be about a creative venture that you're starting. You are a fire sign. No, Aries is a fire sign. You're an air sign. This is the Gemini reading. I swear I know where I am today. Could be about a creative venture that you're starting. This Queen of Wands could be a fire sign in your life who's helping you out with a new project. The Queen of Wands is creative energy. It's charismatic energy, outgoing, confident. That could be you, or it could be someone who is helping you with a project that you're starting. Or maybe you're gaining a new confidence. we've got the cross. So, divinely blessed, creative endeavor that you are starting. Got the Lady, so this could be that Queen of Wands. It could represent the Queen of Wands. And the Gentleman. I'm getting star-crossed lovers here. That might not be the case for everyone, but like a divine union. And it doesn't have to mean, okay, it doesn't have to be a man and a woman, okay? Queen of Wands is just this wonderful, confident, creative energy. And these cards are not really designed to, they're archetypes, purely tropes, cliches. You're supposed to look at Lenormand and just spit out the first thing that comes to your head. So there's not really anything deeper to it than just that this is a pairing, and I get very strongly the sense that it's star-crossed lovers. But again, it does not have to be a man and woman. Alright, the second house is the house of possessions. It's governed by Taurus. We have the Two of Cups reversed, and that is about love as well. I think that maybe this is a situation that's very new, and because of everything that's going on, maybe it's difficult to kind of get this relationship off the ground, or maybe it's difficult for you to see each other. And so whatever this is, I feel like this is making it more tangible in the future. This is not going to come in May, but will be coming in the future. Get the Child. You're going into it with a very innocent kind of an energy, maybe a little immature. The Mice. One thing about the Mice is that all of this stuff, and it's good that it's in the second house, house of possessions, all of this stuff, see how they're like nibbling away at it? The Mice are like the hangers-on. So if you have other people that you're kind of talking to, but you're not really serious about, they're kind of nibbling away at your energies, nibbling away at your stuff. We have the Mountain here, which is about an obstacle that you're going to have to overcome, and a rather sizable one, but you will overcome it. Right. In the third house, this is your house that you govern, Gemini. It's the house of communication. We have the Death card reversed, so there could be an ending to a communication coming up, especially if there's somebody that you're getting very serious about and you're kind of cutting ties with a bunch of these other people that you've kind of been talking to. Maybe you've been flirting online with some different people. This is, I get that for some of you too, this Death card being in the reverse in the house of communication could mean that there's a stalemate. That you've been talking to somebody, talking to them, but you've kind of just gotten to a point where the two of you have come to an impasse. You're not really making any headway. It could be like just talking in circles at this point. Let's clarify that. News. So this is about communication. Letter. Could be news coming in. We've got the lilies. The lilies reminds us it's all about purity, purification, and if you are overeating or if you are drinking a lot of alcohol because you're bored, or any kind of recreational drugs to excess because you're having these bored feelings while you're trapped inside during quarantine, it's a good idea to keep that in check right now. It's a reminder for moderation and purification. It's a good time to purify your body. And the heart. So I sense, because the heart is here, that this is to do with a romantic relationship, but it doesn't have to be. It could just be that maybe a matter of the heart where your heart's not in it anymore. This is your house. It's a house of communication. So it could just be something like your passions have been diverted elsewhere. And we'll find out about that when we get to your 5th house, creativity. All right, 4th house, home and family, ruled by Cancer. Maybe some of you have a Cancer rising. We have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is about moral codes. It's about having God on your side. It's about doing what's right for the sake of the community. Being a spiritual leader. Being a good influence. And then if I were doing a personal reading for any of you, I want to point out that I would be figuring out what's going on in your chart in addition to the 12th house reading. But because it's a general reading, I'm not going to bother being like, well, for you, the 4th house, this is actually your 2nd house, being governed by Cancer, blah, blah, blah. It's much easier, much more intuitive for me to do it this way for the general readings. But then, of course, if I'm doing a personal, it goes much more in depth. Why do I bring that up? Well, because the Hierophant means one thing if it's your home and family, but then as it relates to your possessions, it's got a completely different ring to it. And we have here crossroads. So there's a choice you have to make when it comes to your home and family. And in relation to the Hierophant, that makes a lot of sense. That there seems to be some kind of moral dilemma at home. The dog, faithfulness, fidelity, loyalty, and the whip, discipline. So Maybe there's a need for someone to be faithful and disciplined, and that's a choice that you're going to have to make. I see a lot of this so far kind of relating to a romantic situation. It could be you, or it could be your significant other who's experiencing these things. And then the 5th house, which is about your creativity, your passions, your romantic life. I've been curious about this card for this reading because of everything that is led up to the 5th house. It's governed by Leo. Oh my goodness. Yes, of course. It's the devil, and it's reversed. So somebody is falling prey to their baser instincts in this situation. Could also be a Capricorn involved for some of you. Obviously, this is a general reading. So it'll be different for everyone. But it does speak to a third-party situation, sorry to say. Or possibly this person's involved with substance abuse. That's also a possibility. Sometimes the other woman is actually drugs, or the other person. Alright, yeah, clouds, trouble ahead. The stork has to do with receiving some kind of news or blessing. That's why we talk about the stork delivering babies, because the stork brings blessings. And the moon. The moon is about hidden things, but it's also about art and romance and your creative endeavors if you're an artist. So all of those things are tied into this situation. Maybe you're kind of a tortured artist and you get inspiration from the stork, but you're also getting it from being troubled. Yeah, that's kind of like tortured artist right there. So possibly some good will come out of whatever romantic situation this is, but it will be at the expense of your feelings and your mental health. You're allowed to create wonderful things without being tormented. You know that, right? You're allowed to do that. It's okay. It's not going to come out being cheesy or trite just because you weren't absolutely going through it while you created it. Alright, the 6th house is your daily routines and your health. We have the Fool and it's reversed. So you are being willfully ignorant, possibly, of things that you need to pay attention to in your health and your daily routines. If you're like sleeping in until noon, or overeating because you're bored, kind of a willful ignorance as far as those things are concerned. Let's see what the rest of the cards say. We have the Ring. The Ring's about a partnership, a strong union between two people. Could be a business partnership, could be a romantic partnership. Oh, we have the snake, which is absolutely betrayal. And we have the tree. So maybe this is something that's been going on for a while, and there's actually quite a strong lineage to this situation. Like maybe you've been dating this person for years. Maybe you've known them for a long time and you felt like you knew what they were about. You felt like you knew you could trust them. Or maybe it's a betrayal. Maybe it's a betrayal that's been going on in this relationship for some time, and you've been willfully ignorant of it. That's definitely what it looks like. Alright, so the 7th house. I have to get another candle like this soon. Maybe if I'm very good, I can go to Target. Maybe if I'm very good. Alright, 7th house. It's all about making things equal. Justice. Partnerships. Marriages. Things that are legally defined. Equanimity. And open enemies. It's the sun. And as you can see, this is the pathway Resh. So it has to do with the glory of the sun, the pathway of the sun, the cyclical nature of it, and understanding that the sun will rise in the morning. It's literally the unit that defines our whole solar system. Got the house, so happy home life, the book, secrets, and the scythe. So that could be cutting things out of your happy home life, cutting out the secrets. Cutting out the secrets from your happy home life because it's not in harmony with the natural order of things. Oh, I had a jumper. I'll show you this. And then because the Lenormand deck only has 36 cards and I pull 3 for each of the 12 houses. So by the time we get to the end, all of the cards are going to be used up. But I am getting the garden card for this. And the garden is the way that you surround yourself with positive energy to raise your vibrations. And that could be your peer group, could be your environment in general. You know, it's tending your garden. So, definitely has a lot to do with that. And letting the sun shine down upon your garden. Yeah, so while the garden card isn't here, it's all kind of tied up in that idea. And we'll see where the garden card comes out later. So the 8th house, death, sex, and other people's resources, which, technically speaking, death and sex are tied up in other people's resources. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Stones. This is a successful feminine energy. this could be an earth sign person that you're getting involved with. They don't have to be a woman. It could just be somebody who's like a feminine success. Maybe they're a makeup artist, or maybe, you know, in a traditionally feminine sign or career path, because Pentacles is earth sign, and Pentacles is very tied up in money energy, resource energy. You look at your earth houses, you've got possessions, you have your daily routines and your health, you've got then Capricorn, which is your career house, the 10th house. So very tied up in material things. The clover. The clover is luck, but also to keep in mind not to rub that luck in people's faces. Be lucky, but be quiet about it. Be quiet and lucky. You can be a little smug if you want. And here we go, the garden coming out. So, tending your, and again, that earth energy in the garden, tending your garden, raising your vibration. And the key. The key is going to be about having access to things that you haven't before. So maybe this Queen of Pentacles is going to open up all these things for you. The clover being having the luck to have access to things you haven't before. Alright, the 9th house. 9th house is travel and higher education. This is a card about how you elevate yourself. It's all about, you know, kicking it into the next gear. And you can do that through travel, you can do that through higher education. So any of those things. And it is the King of Swords reversed. So you're in air energy, Gemini. This could be you feeling shut off from your logic, feeling shut off from your good communication. Or it could be, because this is reversed, that you are about to become the King of Swords and really tap into your communication and logic skills. We have the Rider. The Rider's good news coming in. We have the Fish. The Fish is money. So that could be money for travel. It could be money for higher education and scholarship maybe. And the Bouquet. The bouquet is a gift, or it could be a flirtation. So maybe you're getting news about a gift of money, and that's going to enable you, while you're inverse right now, you're kind of waiting for it. It's going to enable you to become your best self. Alright, we're almost there. Only a few more cards, and then you will know what to expect in May. Alright, 10th house is career. It's the 5 of Cups reversed, so it's possible that there's a disappointment regarding your career. And what I'm getting is that there wasn't any need for you to be disappointed about this particular thing. The Cups being reversed, this could be that it hasn't happened yet, but I really am getting the sense that there was a disappointment about something, but that actually the reason that the card is reversed is that you needn't be disappointed about it. And we'll find out. We'll find out if there are things coming in, and that's why. Yeah, the Tower is actually about control in Lenormand deck. It's about control and power and being able to see into situations. Whereas the Tower in the Tarot deck is about destruction. This is totally different energy. The Anchor, so you're firmly anchored and you have so much control in this situation. And then we have the Birds. And the Birds card is all like, well, a little bird told me this, or a little bird told me that. So it's about advice coming in. All right, the 11th house, governed by Aquarius. It's all about your psychic states, your psychological states, anything that's going on between your ears, and how that is affecting the world around you. We have the 7 of Swords. This is uselessness, but this could also be about manipulation. So if there's any kind of manipulation going on, you're being just kind of mentally attacked by all of these different angles in which there's a manipulation or a backstabbing going on. And I don't see, like, well, we do have the snake over here. We had the snake, the tree, and the ring, right? So this has been a long festering manipulation. This is not a surprise to you in May. We have the Ship, so you'll be leaving that behind mentally, if not physically. We have the Bear. The Bear is a powerful person, but a dangerous person as well. And we have the Stars, and the Stars is all about happy endings as well. So I see this as you mentally are going to be taking back your power in this situation. Whether or not that other person realizes that or not, I think mentally you're very strong, and there's no reason why you should be kind of bogged down in this situation the way that things are. I really am not getting a sense that the person is trying to be manipulative. It's just like an intuitive feeling I'm having, but it could be different for everyone. You know, this is a general reading. Make sure to check out your moon and rising readings. Check out all 3, sun, moon, and rising, because you will get more context. And that's really why I like to do Celtic Cross or 12 houses readings. You get the most context possible, which is what you're going to need to get the most out of your general reading. Otherwise, you may as well just get a private reading. Last house. And it is the House of Endings, and it's governed by Pisces. And it's the Ace of Cups, which is all about an emotional offering. It's in the upright, so the House of Endings is very much like the House of Beginning again. because for every ending that you get, which we have the coffin here, so there's going to be an ending. We have the fox, which is all about your cunning, your smarts. You can tell you're a mental giant from all of these cards here in the 11th house. And we have the sun. So we have the sun here, we have the sun here. Don't forget to tend your garden. I'm really glad that you joined me today, Gemini, for this May 2020 tarot reading. I will be adding mid-month readings, and those will not be card readings. I'm going to do crystal scrying. So I'm going to be sitting here, listening to the crystal, telling each of you by astrological sign what you should expect. But I don't think I'm going to use fluorite. I'm probably going to use my obsidian, because it's good for scrying. But I'll see you again for those readings, hopefully. And until then, I hope you have a great month of May, and I'll see you soon.